Hi everyone, I'm Divya and I'm here today with CUESA's Foodwise Kids program in San Francisco. I used to be an intern and volunteer with Foodwise Kids.
Foodwise Kids is this awesome free program for elementary school students that uses the Ferry Plaza Farmers Market as a classroom to empower the next generation of healthy eaters. Through tastings, exploring the market, and hands-on cooking, we aim to nurture kids' love for fruits and vegetables and teach basic skills for prepping healthy food at home.
Foodwise Kids means a lot to me. I loved working with the kiddos, talking about fresh seasonal vegetables, shopping at the Ferry Plaza Farmers Market, and of course, cooking. Now I live in the beautiful Pacific Northwest in Seattle, and today I will be talking about knife safety. You can follow along at home with your family. This is a great activity to do with kiddos ages 7 or older. For this lesson, adults must help kids select a safe knife and be present to supervise and follow along. Remember, a knife is a tool, not a toy, but we can enjoy ourselves in the kitchen if we follow knife safety. So let's get started. Today, you will need a knife. Again, a knife that an adult has helped you pick out. A cutting board. A plastic cutting board is fine, a wood cutting board is fine. Whatever you have at home is perfectly fine. Some washed vegetables. I have some in-season celery, asparagus, and I have some green onions, spring onions, and an avocado. So gather those things, wash your hands, and come join me.
I'm going to declutter my workspace. Right now, this is very cluttered. So I'm just gonna move away anything I don't need immediately. So that's most things. And I'm gonna put away these peppers. I'm gonna move away any debris, and I'm gonna check to make sure the surface underneath is dry. This way my cutting board won't slip around. Perfect.
When I'm not using my knife, I place it towards the top of my cutting board like so. I always make sure that the blade is facing away from me and that it's parallel. You never want to place your knife so that the pointy part is hanging off the table because you can accidentally poke yourself. You never want to leave the handle of the knife hanging off the table because you could accidentally hit it and the knife could go flying. So when I'm not using it, I place it just like so. The technique to hold a knife is very simple. We place all of our fingers under the handle like so. You may be tempted to hold your knife like this, but this isn't safe because it doesn't give us a firm, stable grip on the knife. Once again, you place all of your fingers under the handle like you would grab a bike handle, just like that. All right, so the first chopping technique we're going to learn is the claw technique. You're going to create a claw with your non-dominant hand. So if you use your right hand to write, like me, I'm going to use my left hand to make the claw. A claw is really simple. You want to tuck in your fingertips, just like that. So let's see what that looks like. We're going to chop the green onion. I'm going to tuck in my fingertips and place my claw down on the green onion, just like this. Now I'm going to hold my knife like we learned, and we're just going to slice. And we're going to do a simple circular slice. We want to use the claw so we don't accidentally cut our fingertips. For example, if our fingertips were out like this, we run the risk of giving them a little cut. So we always use the claw technique. Perfect. And now we have awesome little ringlets of green onion. Next up, we're going to learn the tunnel technique. And the tunnel technique is perfect for round fruits and vegetables like lemons and avocados when it's too difficult to use the claw because the fruit and vegetable can roll around. So let's learn the tunnel technique. And I'm going to show you the tunnel technique with an avocado. So you make a tunnel or a bridge over your fruit or vegetable. And yes, an avocado is a fruit. So you're gonna make a tunnel just like that. I'm gonna turn it a little. Yeah, this is perfect. So make a tunnel and you want your knife to go through the tunnel. Again, this keeps the fingertips away from the blade of the knife. And we're gonna make one slice down the middle. Now, because avocados have this big pit, we can't slice all the way through. So I sliced in half, and now I'm going to turn the avocado around. And once again, because of this pit, we're gonna take the avocado and we're gonna twist it. Perfect. Now we have our avocado sliced in half. Now what do you do with that pit? I like to just pop it out with my hands. The tunnel technique also helps us create a flat side. After we have a flat side, we can use the claw technique. So let's see that in action. Got my knife, I'm holding it with a steady grip. My lemon, which is very roly-poly, I'm gonna use the tunnel technique to stabilize it. Chop it in half, like so. And now I have a flat side on my lemon. And if I wanted to create lemon wedges, I can place it on its flat side and use claw. Just like that. Now I have a lemon wedge. We're going to use the claw technique again for asparagus, but this time we're going to do a diagonal cut. This is a more advanced cut, so before you approach this cut, I recommend you ask the adult who's supervising you if you can do this. So holding the knife again with proper technique, we've got our claw, and we're going to cut away from ourselves, away from our fingers, on a slight angle. We're cutting ever so slightly away from us on an angle. You can definitely cut the asparagus in a circle, but I like my asparagus cut on a diagonal. Perfect. We're gonna move this away. Another quick technique I want to teach you is chopping more than one fruit or vegetable, especially if they're long and skinny like asparagus and green onions at a time. So these are pretty thin asparagus, so I'm going to cut 4 at a time. Again, this is a pretty advanced technique, so ask the adult that's supervising you if you can do this. So we're going to place them right next to each other, and we're going to make the tops even. We're going to place our claw across all 4, and then we're going to cut again on a diagonal. This way I can cut more at once. Sometimes you're going to run into fruits or vegetables that are just too hard to chop. Some examples include ginger, onions, garlic, potatoes, apples, pomegranates. There's a lot of stuff that can be too hard to chop. If it's too difficult for you, always ask an adult for help. Adults can make the first cut or 2 to make something more manageable for kids. But sometimes a fruit or vegetable is just too hard or too big that it's best left to the adults to cut. When you walk with the knife, you want to make sure that your arm is straight, you're holding the knife firmly, and that the blade is facing away from you. After you hold the knife like this, you can walk, but you must always maintain a straight arm. If you're walking behind someone and their back is facing you, you want to say loud and kind, "Knife behind you." Practice that. Knife behind you, so they know you're holding a knife. Awesome job. Never leave your knife in the sink. You can poke yourself. Not good. Here's how to wash a knife safely. Get your sponge with some soap. Rinse the knife to get it wet. And wash it from top to bottom, keeping the blade away from you. Just like that on the other side too. Great. It's good practice to dry the knife right away. Dry it, starting at the handle and keeping the blade and the point away from you. And now you can store it with the rest of your knives. So that was Knife Skills 101. Just practice with the fruits and vegetables you have at home and you'll be a pro in no time. Thank you so much for watching. Once again, I'm Divya with CUESA's Foodwise Kids program. If you want to learn more about CUESA, go to cuesa.org/foodwisekids. Thank you so much. Bye.